Throughout this project, I've used a lot of different technologies that have provided us with a professional finish overall. The main technologies I've used are Final Cut, Photoshop, YouTube, Google, and my iPhone. Facebook was a major technology used to communicate with each other, especially in the planning stages. We set up a Facebook group so that all members of our group could communicate effectively about our ideas and planning. It was also used effectively to upload pictures of our storyboards and timetables of when we could meet up. This helped us to constantly discuss and contact with each other when we didn't have lessons, which meant that we could also speed up our making process. This was also helpful through the fact that it alerted us on our phones immediately when a member had posted or commented on a page, so it was instant. This meant we could split up into our different sections with the equal workload between group members so that everyone had something to do. This made the construction and research stages in the beginning a lot quicker, and without it, it would have made it a lot harder to keep up to date. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to discuss it only in our lessons or via email, and that would have made it a bit time consuming if we could only discuss things in class or via contacting each other through hard process and things like that. So it made it really easy to contact each other. Also, it would have been obviously more time consuming. It could have also reduced the quality of our work if we tried to communicate and send pictures and things through different technologies that weren't as great with keeping the quality of pictures and things like that. So this is where Facebook was really useful as well, because all documents kept their original quality. Google was another major technology for me when in the research stages, and as I used images and researched things through websites through Google to find out about film noir history and certain films that were relevant. I also used it to find out about neo-noir and the differences between neo-noir and film noir. YouTube was also a great technology usage for this because it allowed me to watch films such as Detour, Double Indemnity and Brick to see the differences and compare them all. So in my research that was really useful to think of new ideas for our film with the influences of those. We used a DSLR camera which was used to create our film and take professional photos in our photography room. And this was really useful because as a technology, because it was a top quality camera that meant our film was of a good standard. We also used it in the photography room on our to take photos of our main characters, and by doing this we used a black backdrop, which also helped to create great shadowing, which obviously is a convention of film noir that we wanted to achieve through bright lights and things like that. The camera also helped us to achieve top quality sounds. For example, it captured all diegetic sounds, such as the train you hear going over the bridge, which is in the alley scene, and also the scenes in the alley where you hear birds singing through the tunnel when Cassie is smoking. They're all diegetic sounds that we got for ourselves. So although we didn't use as many Foley sounds, we did have our own sounds which were just so happen at the right time. So that was really useful to pick up really good quality sounds. So that technology was really good to have that great camera. We also used our iPhones to record the voiceovers used within our scenes with the pupils speaking over. So in that making stage it was really useful. It captured high quality sounds, and this was a great technology because it allowed us to look up anything on the internet on the spot. So our iPhones, we could literally have it in our hands and look up anything we wanted. So that was really quick and easy. Photoshop was a great technology because that helped me to create both my ancillary tasks using tools that edited the images and constructed together a layout to make the products look professional and effective. So as a technology, Photoshop was really useful for me, especially as I'd never used Photoshop before. So I also used YouTube to research how to use Photoshop, so that was really good for me. So I spent some of my free time looking on YouTube and following some people that explained how to use Photoshop and some of the tools and things. So that was really useful to learn and stuff in the process. So I also learnt the different tools that could be used to make layers, adding text, and also how to erase and add curves and lines. Final Cut was a really big technology for us. We used it in the making of our project. Again, I'd never used Final Cut before on my own, so before this, so it was a good learning step for me. Again, I looked on YouTube at people's videos on how to input music and edit clips by making sections of the music slightly louder or quieter when inputting the voiceover, so that was really useful technology. It was used to edit our film and change the filter using colour correct. We played around with some of the colours and in the beginning to try and decide what we felt was the most effective filter. Final Cut was really quite easy when you start to get to know and understand how to work it all. We used some Foley sounds from there, for example, the phone ringing in the office scene. That was used from Final Cut, so it was a really good technology to also add Foley sounds that we didn't have. We originally used YouTube in the research stages of music to find music that suited our film. It was a great technology, YouTube, because this has so much variety. You can find out about different music, so that was great for us. We looked into using some of Alt J's music, so we researched into that, looked at different music they have, because it had great beats that fit in well with our chase scene, and also the whole atmosphere of the love between the teacher and the pupil. And soon after we researched into this, we found out that we were not allowed to use copyright music, so we started to look on free copyright music websites. So that was really good technology. So we obviously used the internet to find out music that didn't have that wasn't copyright, and ones that we could use that would fit in well with our style. However, even though we found a couple that were okay, as a group we felt they were not effective enough and up to date enough. So for our style of film, instead we decided to email, which was obviously another technology, emailed this guy that we found on Twitter, another great technology that we used, because Twitter helped us to find this guy, which we emailed, called Tom Bem, and we emailed him because we found some music that he had that was copyright free. So we emailed him using some of his copyright free music, and he agreed to let us download to use in our film, because obviously we weren't getting any earnings from it. It was just education reasons. So he sent us an email with some links to his music, different types of style of them. So we had an instrumental one, we had a remix. So we also downloaded them and chose the ones we felt were most effective on iTunes, which was another great technology because it helped us to download onto iTunes. iTunes really helped us to look into different songs and things for our film that were copyright free as well. Again, the Macs were a great technology which we used throughout our making process, the research, the making, and some of our evaluation. They're great technology as they have everything up to date. So yeah, they were really good, and we use those in our free time to edit as well and create our final film. So really they were the main thing, the Macs were the main thing that helped us throughout this. So learning on those were really great, and obviously they're really good compared to normal computers. In my planning stages, I use technology such as PowerPoint, Word document, Windows Movie Maker, SlideShare, to create different types of documents when presenting my work, especially in my research stages. In my evaluation, I used Windows Movie Maker to make a lot of my evaluation because it was easy but effective technology that enables you to add pictures and music over voiceovers. So that was really useful, as well as the technology. Overall, I feel this year I've really pushed myself to learn more about different technologies and put myself out there to research into these different technologies. to plan, research, and evaluate in my stages of making, because last year I didn't feel I got I had a chance to sort of learn much about things like Photoshop and Final Cut, as it was more sort of group based and we didn't really do much individually with that. Whereas this year I feel I've really pushed myself to research how to use these technologies on YouTube, which really has helped my confidence when making suggestions and ideas as a group, as we've gone along the process. So yeah, I feel like I've really sort of learned a lot from these technologies, really pushed myself out there this year. Yeah, so technology wise, I think I've used quite a lot of technologies through the process as a group and individually.